Hey, yo, what up, everybody? Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Making the turn on this week. Finally, all right. It's DK Show coming to you from the Sports Talk studios this morning. A big thanks for making us part of your early morning start, whether it's on the radio dials that you're tuning in on, 105.1 FM, 790 AM, online, streaming it up at our website, sportstalk1051.com. Tell your Alexa devices. Sorry, I'm going to say it. So if you got an Alexa, get ready. Yo, Alexa, play WAYY. Video streams also up and rolling YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Instagram. Links up on Twitter if you want to check it out over there too. But again, big thanks for making us a part of your start here this morning. We've got a loaded up game plan for you all this for today. So let's jump right into it. The Cardiac Brewers are at it again. Did pick up the win last night, 9-8, but had to make it difficult on themselves after jumping out to a 6-0 lead through three. Diamondbacks were able to tie it up in the 8th at 8 apiece. But bottom of the 9th, Isaac Collins with a walk-off sacrifice fly to propel the Brewers to a 9-8 victory to take the first two games of this 4-game series against the Diamondbacks. Jacob Mizorowski getting the no decision, but he went 5 innings and he looked sharp for the most part, especially at the beginning of the game, striking out 10 batters, did give up 3 earned runs, including a home run. Those 3 earned runs coming in the 4th inning. But you get contributions, home runs from Contreras, Turang. Then you got, as we mentioned, Isaac Collins with the sacrifice fly at the end. Contreras, 3 total hits last night. Yelich with a couple. Sal Frelick with a couple as well. So offense, they put up their crooked number, kind of like a game 1-2, putting up that crooked number, but Diamondbacks able to claw back in those first 2 games. Still falling short, but definitely making things a little bit more stressful, maybe on that Brewers bullpen and this team, making it hard fought wins. I want to talk a little bit about, of course, recapping more from the game yesterday, last night, but talk a little bit more about the Mizz's performance that we saw last night, and how about Bryce Turang and just the power that he has been displaying so far in the month of August. Went into August with 6 total home runs. So far in August, he has 9 total home runs. Bryce Turang is in fuego right now. His last 26 ABs, he's hitting 385, slugging 654. You want to expand it to his last 113 at-bats, 319 and a 637 slugging. So he is playing lights out right now. And so we'll talk a little bit about that. And of course, like we mentioned, Jacob Mizorowski's start from last night. And then taking a look at tonight's game. Game 3 of this 4-game series. With a win, the Brewers will secure themselves another series win. You got Quinn Priester going on the mound for the Brewers. Brewers did gain a little bit of ground in the Central Division with the Giants defeating the Cubs last night. So thank you to the Giants for that. But there's a really cool piece too. I'm going to post it up a little bit later on in this hour on our Sports Talk pages. I think I actually tweeted it out on the Sports Talk page and my X page. It's from ESPN. But how the Brewers have built a $115 million MLB powerhouse. A lot of the things that we've kind of speculated, talked a little bit about this Brewers team, and maybe a little bit of a college feel, it hits home on a lot of that. There's this part here, it's in the beginning too. While the Brewers are play this internal game, I guess they call check game. Pat Murphy told ESPN, quote, "It started in the coach's room to remind us it's not about us, it's about the team. Anyone is fair game. The rules of check game are simple. If you talk about your own accolades, you get a check. If you try to defend yourself, you get a check. If you pass on the blame to someone else, that's a check as well. And apparently it's not just players and coaches. It goes to the front office and even the ownership and his family. Apparently, Mark Anacio's son in a game against, I don't know if it was just this past series or if it was against the Giants, was a little cold, left the stadium to go into the suite to stay warm. Apparently, he got a check for that. Thought it was kind of interesting. A lot more details and a little bit of a peek behind the curtain. So definitely go check it out up at ESPN. But essentially, it's like everybody wants to know how the Brewers are doing this, trying to figure out how they're doing it. So we'll probably hit that up a little bit later on, get you all a chance to check it out and to read it and such. Elsewhere, the Packers' initial 53-man roster is now in the books. No really like big surprises. I think that perhaps for me at least, the biggest surprise for this Packers team was probably cutting Kalen King in favor of rookie Micah Robinson and Hayden. So I thought King played well enough to deserve a spot. I got to imagine that they're hoping, crossing fingers, that they can get him on the practice squad. But a little surprising, they went that route. I wouldn't say full on surprising, just a little bit. Packers only keeping 4 linebackers, no Isaiah Simmons, no Christian Welch either, but maybe we'll see either one of those back on the practice squad for the Packers. No McCall Hardman, he was also released. So anything kind of jump out to you in terms of the initial Packers 53-man roster? Let me know. Hit me up with a quick text on that Shoe Doctor's bullpen line, 715-830-1912. Anything surprise you? Anything kind of jump out to you with this 53-man roster? And speaking of the green and gold, there's a crazy intense conversation going on right now on social media. A lot of rumors, a lot of speculation, a lot of chit chat that are the Packers close to acquiring Micah Parsons. Now, not to poo-poo on the people who are throwing this out there. It's not coming from the bigwigs of a Schefter and Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, or anything like that. But, man, I was coaching last night and get home late and turn on the Brewer game, scrolling through social media to see what I've missed, and I just constantly see people talking about Micah Parsons and Green Bay. I'm like, did it happen? Did it get traded? And didn't, but there's a lot of chatter out there. Again, I mean, there's reports about a couple of first round picks, and then a second and a fifth going to the Cowboys, and Packers allegedly having a deal already in place, getting him $45 million a year and such. So I don't know if I'm falling into that trap right now at this point, but there's some degree of smoke out there, and I don't want to fall into that trap, that feeling of, oh man, let's get on this wagon and let's get it happen and let's see it happen, and then it doesn't, and then you kind of get your guard down and such. But Packers fans, what are your thoughts on when you kind of see the stuff and it's ramping up here a little bit more? I just hope people don't fall into the spotted at the airport conversation again. I hope we're not falling into that. I know some people already are tweeting out a photo that's like from years ago, and it's not even him, I believe. But be careful what you read on the internet and on social media. But it's definitely kind of spiraling right now on social media. The fact that maybe Green Bay actually would acquire Micah Parsons. Maybe we could get, like, if this actually happens, maybe we could get C-Bomb to do something crazy if this is going to actually happen and such. So, but I don't know. Kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts. I would say, what would your reaction be if it were to happen? And I think a majority of us, if not all of us, would be incredibly shocked and pumped to a degree as well. But that'd be something, huh? Whew. Holy moly. But we'll hit that up coming up here too. What else do we got on the dockets? It is stock reports. So if you want to make your picks, send them on over. Whose stock is up? Whose stock is down? Text it to us on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line, 715-830-1912. Comment on the video streams. Hit me up on the socials. So let's jump right into it. We got a full up game plan for us this morning. The honors, we'll talk a little green and gold to open it up, recapping last night's win, the Cardiac Brewers. Looking ahead to game 3 tonight with Quinn Priester on the mound. And then coming up a little bit later on this hour, we'll talk a little green and gold and anything kind of surprise you in terms of all the cuts from yesterday. All right, quick break. Then we'll get the leadoff going. Coming up after these quick words. Kickoff to the NFL season is coming up fast. Coming up next week. Join in on the fun with us for our traditional pro football pick'em challenge. You can sign up now and start making your picks by going to sportstalk1051.com and clicking on that fan cave tab and scrolling all the way down to the bottom. Sign up for that for free. And then also we got the Survivor pick'em pool on there too. So a couple of different games for you to be playing during this pro football season. Again, all the info and to sign up and to start making your picks, just go to sportstalk1051.com. Click on that fan cave tab and scroll all the way down and sign up right now. A couple messages to go here before we jump into our leadoff with the Brew Crew. James on video says, Parsons, it would be great if it would happen. I believe it when I see it. Stock down, Brewers bullpen, I get it. They are in a long stretch of games and their bullpen has been stretched thin, but I'm losing confidence in their shutdown ability. A couple texts. C-Bomb says surprises for me was Corey Ballantyne, as well as only keeping 4 linebackers. If Parsons is brought to Green Bay, talk about a splash from Ed Policy. That would be a staple move for Goot. That's definitely worth something crazy. Would you say that's also maybe potentially, I think it's kind of like a fair fall received for type of question, a job defining type of move for Goot? On one hand, if it works, brings you helps bring you a championship and such, well, there you go. If it doesn't and you lose all that draft capital, then what? I mean, I would almost say that's kind of a job defining type of decision. Living a dream, Jeff says, morning, Dan. I missed who was placed on IR or the pup list and the info. Lloyd and Watson are, but which are they on? So Marshawn Lloyd is on the injured reserve with a designated to return. So injured reserve designated to return. He's got to miss at least the first 4 games. Christian Watson is on the physically unable to perform list. So I believe off the top of my head, that's at least the first 6 games. Others who were put on those lists, you look at the offensive line designated to return, Jacob Monk, so has to miss at least the first 4 games. Pup John Williams. Defensively, it's Colin Oliver, rookie on the pup list. And then a couple more here. You got injured reserve Omar Brown. No, he was not designated to return, so that means he misses the entire season unless he and the Packers can come to an injury settlement. So those are just some of those. Living the dream, Jeff. Hopefully that helped answer your question and such. So, yeah, Lloyd again going to miss the first 4 games of the season. Probably the biggest name on there. Although I'd throw Jacob Monk on there too, probably because primary backup center in that. But so we'll talk some more gritty gold coming up here in just a little bit. Let's give the honors to our leadoff here with the Brew Crew, the Cardiac Brewers. A lot of nicknames for this Brewers team this season. Murphy's Woodpeckers, got, I would say, the Cardiac Brew Crew, especially as of late, not making things easy on themselves, but they're grinding it out and getting these W's, and now have taken the first 2 games against the Diamondbacks here, but had to go about it in perhaps the most difficult way after jumping out to a 6-0 lead, putting up a crooked number in that bottom of the 5th inning, 5 runs. Mizorowski looked like he was dealing, but the Diamondbacks cut it in half in the top of the 4th, and then just kept chipping away. 3 more in the 7th, 2 in the 8th to tie it up after the Brewers had tacked on 2 more in the bottom of the 6th. But no extra innings here as the Brewers were able to get a sacrifice walk-off from Isaac Collins last night. Contreras, 3 hits to lead the team out of the 12 total hits for the Brewers, including a home run from him. Yelich also adding a couple of hits. His batting average is now up to a 271. Sal Frelick also adding a couple of hits. He had homers from Bryce Turang and William Contreras. Get to that here in a second, but the final line on the Mizz, 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 10 Ks. Those 3 earned runs coming in the top of the 4th, but was kind of cruising there the first couple innings and such. And you look at Mizorowski, again, part of the question that we have been asking, is, all right, where is he at in terms of pitch count? Are they going to stretch him? They're going to still monitor him and maybe cap him? Well, he had 93 pitches last night. So that's back to back. You look at the Mizz and Woodruff going up there in the pitch count. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be like that every single start throughout the rest of the regular season. They're still going to be mindful. They're still going to be paying attention to that. And maybe once in a while here, there will be shorter starts to try to keep them fresh and ready to go for the postseason. But good to see him go 93 last night. But yeah, this cardiac team, and you look at the Diamondbacks, I mean, they still have some good offensive players. They're going to make it difficult. They're kind of like the Brewers in that essence offensively, where this year, if they're down, don't necessarily count them out. No lead seems to be insurmountable for the Diamondbacks and that. So I know they haven't played up to their expectations this year. They've moved on from some guys and such by the trade deadline or injuries like a Corbin Burns and that, but they still got a fairly talented offensive lineup that can put good barrel on the ball and make plays and get on base and score a bunch of runs, which we have definitely seen in these last couple games. But, good grind out victories for a Brewers team that's, let's face it, probably a little tired, probably a little worn down as they go through this long stretch of consecutive games and that. And again, it's not going to stop until next Tuesday when they have a scheduled off day. But maybe this is a positive outside of the wins, positive, good learning experience, good, practice to get into these type of games where, okay, you have a comfortable lead, but then you're going up against a team that's chipping away at it and ultimately ties it. How do you respond? You respond by scoring in the bottom of the ninth, a walk-off victory. So, to put a positive spin on it, although it was stressful listening or watching to the game last night, maybe we take the positive route and say, all right, look at how they won. They had an early lead. They lost it, came back and picked up the dub. That's the positive side on this. The negative side, if you're playing but good cop, bad cop with this whole thing, you're like, man, should we start to worry about the bullpen? There's that crazy stats. Blown games by bullpen or take it away from a starter's win. The Brewers were the best in Major League Baseball, and now you kind of look at the last few days, you're like, ugh. Maybe it's just simply that they've been stretched out and called upon and taxed quite a bit. So they're a little tired, a little worn out. We got Bryce, or excuse me, I do want to talk about Bryce Turang here in a second. Quinn Priester on the mound for the Crew tonight, looking for his 12th win on the season. Yesterday we talked about guys who surprised you the most this year with your play in that, and Quinn Priester is absolutely on that list. If we were going to make that list, so kind of taking a look at it, you've got Ryan Nelson going for the Diamondbacks, and lineup wise, you got some guys with like a game or two of experience. Really, nothing that great. Danny Jansen actually has the most career at bats, and he's got the best batting average, 333 with a 666 OPS. That's kind of a creepy number. Other than that, Contreras has 4 career at bats, 250. Yelich 4 career at bats, 0 Isaac Vaughn 5 career at bats, 0. On the flip side, you got a few guys with a little bit of experience going up against Priester. Not a ton, though. You're talking like 2 or 3 at bats. But going back to Nelson here, and what have you done for me lately? How are you performing here lately? August, 0-5 in 4 games with a 5.4 ERA. And you look at his last 3 games, going back on the 11th against Texas, gave up 5 earned runs. Colorado, 4 earned runs. Cincinnati, 3 earned runs in 6 innings. All no decisions. But comparing it to the month of July, he's fallen down a little bit. Month of July, he's played in 5 games, went 2-1 with a 2.22 ERA. May, he was awesome. In 6 games, he was 1-1 with a 1.80 ERA, but he's kind of been like, again, the whole EKG, good to bad, good to bad. What version are we going to get from Nelson tonight in this matchup? Nelson did go up against the Brewers back in April. Only pitched 3 innings, giving up just 2 hits, 1 earned run, and did strike out 3 in that matchup. Priester, meanwhile, you're looking at what have you done for me lately there? And so far in the month of August, Quinn Priester in 4 games, 1-0 with a 4.29 ERA. He's coming off of no decision against the Cubbies, where he went 4 1/3, gave up 95 pitches though, 4 strikeouts, had some major issues with control and command, 5 walks in 4 1/3 against the Cubbies in that game. So kind of similar to the Mizz last night, looking for a little bit of a bounce back in terms of command and control with the pitches. Looking for that for Quinn Priester. Even the game before that against Cincinnati, another no decision. Went 5 1/3, but he gave up 6 hits and 2 earned runs. Back on the 4th to begin August, went 7 innings against the Braves. 1 earned run. Did pick up the win. If you remember back at that Cubs game, too, there was a lot of ground ball alts. He's a ground ball pitcher. He's one of those pitchers, if you got a guy on base, odds are, not every time, but the odds are pointing in his direction. You might be able to get a ground ball to flip a double and get out of the inning. That's Quinn Priester. May not light up the strikeout stat sheet, although he did against the Dodgers back in July when he had 10. Easily his season high here, but he's a ground ball pitcher. He's going to try to get the ball to the defense behind him to make some plays. But Priester looking for his 12th win, currently 11-2 with a 3.44 ERA on the season. How about this Bryce Turang cat, though? I mean, the season, the month that he is having right now in August, goes into August with just 6 home runs on the season. He's already got 9. He's got 15 total home runs so far this year. 385 average in his last 26 at-bats. Last 113 at-bats, he's hitting 319. You know, Pat Murphy said a while ago that Bryce Turang could be a middle-of-the-order hitter because of that confidence and that power that they probably knew that he had. Now it's kind of on full display for the rest of the country and the rest of the baseball world to take notice that Bryce Turang is hitting the ball really, really well. And if I'm an opposing pitcher right now, I better be knowing about that. I better have that in the back of my mind. But I know we chatted about a few days ago, the career trajectory of Bryce Turang is unbelievable. Unbelievable in the aspect of how much better he has gotten every single season. His rookie year makes spring training, but offensively, not that great. Gets sent back down, gets called back up. Last year, took a step, right? Took a step. Ends up winning the Platinum Glove and a Gold Glove. This year, he took another step, specifically in the offensive department. So it's been a lot of fun watching this Bryce Turang guy. Man, hopefully it continues, and hopefully he can continue this momentum once the Brewers get into the to the postseason. So we mentioned with the Cubs defeating the Giants defeating the Cubs last night, the Brewers lead is now 5.5 in the division. Let's keep stacking those W's and let's get the W today to secure another series win. First pitch for tonight's game, 6:40. Coverage will begin 35 minutes prior on your radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM. Then tomorrow will be the getaway day game, 1:10 before the Brewers hit Toronto for a 3-game series. All right, let's take a quick break, switch gears here a little bit, talk a little green and gold. Initial thoughts on the 53-player roster. Anything kind of jump out to you? Anything kind of surprise you? Anything maybe kind of upset you? What do you got for me? And is this Micah Parsons thing like legit? Is this actually going to happen? Are we starting to get on that social media bandwagon here? I always get nervous with that stuff, but we'll see, I suppose. Quick break. We'll be back after these few words. By the way, the 2026 Brewer schedule came out yesterday. Don't want to overlook that or anything. I know we're still focused on the 2025 season, and hopefully it ends in a magical way. But Brewers will be opening up at home for the first time since 2021, taking on the White Sox. Talk about a loaded American League schedule for the first month of the season, March and April. White Sox, Tampa Bay, Kansas City, Boston. Those are your first four series. Throw in the Nationals, and then you got Toronto, throw in the Marlins, and then you got Detroit. So, yeah, and then you got some long, grueling stretches again, especially later on in the season. It's kind of a tough schedule on paper. No question about it, but I think anybody who else looked at it, correct me if I'm wrong or not, but I think, am I seeing this right, where the Brewers and Twins only play one series and it's in Minnesota in the middle of May? At least it's a weekend one. But am I seeing this correct? Because I'm looking at it and I only see one series against the Twins. But yeah, there's a lot of things that kind of jump out to me for that Brewer schedule. Ooh. All right, we'll talk maybe a little bit about this coming up a little bit later on here as well. A few texts before we get to a little green and gold chat here. Living Dream Jeff says, not upset, but the way some players are breaking up King since it's college days, I find it confusing why he can't make the team. Evan says, 4 linebackers is surprising. Bummed that Kalen King didn't make it. He looked good. Ricky has more hits than Schefter this summer. Got to believe in the dog. Talking about Ricky Scoops, the Twitter account that has been kind of calling this Packers Micah Parsons thing. And I mean, this Ricky Scoops person has got like 51.8 thousand followers, 51.8K. And I don't know if this is where it kind of started last night. Then you had others kind of jumping in on this. But, you know, he posted last night the Packers have a trade on the table with the Cowboys for Micah Parsons with a new contract worth $45 million per year. Again, I don't know what to believe. And maybe I'm just like, nah, I'll believe it when I see it because it is the Packers. It is Green Bay in that. So, but if they pull it off, if they get this done, I mean, you're going to have a riled up, enthusiastic, even more enthusiastic, pumped up, jacked up fan base. If that Parsons thing comes through, I'm trying not to get my hopes up. I'm trying not to, really get into it, to be excited, only to like, oh yeah, been down that road too many times when it comes to potential targets for the Packers and reading into rumors and rumblings and social media posts. I still have my doubts on it. I still have my doubts. I can't see it happening. Maybe it will, but I can't. But this has got to be a season defining decision. If this is all in the up and up, let's assume for a second this is all in the up and up, that the Packers are really trying to get Micah Parsons, and they're willing to send 2 first-round picks, multiple high picks, maybe even a player in there, and then shelling out a new contract to make him one of the top highest paid defensive players out there. This is a job-defining decision for a couple of ways. One, you're giving up a ton of draft capital. And if it doesn't work out and you don't have those picks, but if it does work out and it gets you a Lombardi trophy, well, then now we're cooking with peanut oil. It's a job-defining decision. But boy, that would be a big splashy one. One that I don't think any. I mean, what would this compare to for Packers? I don't know what it would compare to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know. Packers initial 53 roster coming out yesterday. And really, I don't think there was a ton of surprises, but I agree with the majority of everybody who chimed in on this. The Kalen King one surprised me. I think just because for a couple reasons. One, it from all accounts and from everything that we've seen and read and heard, et cetera, he had a solid camp and he had a solid preseason. And considering the depth of that cornerback room, I think it was surprising to see him not make the team. And Green Bay elected to go with a rookie with Micah Robinson. They elected to go with Kamal Hayden over Kalen King. I think that was maybe a little bit of the surprise there. That sure seemed like Kalen King maybe outperformed those two players. Now, I don't know if King would be willing to come back on the practice squad if he clears waivers or if he wants to try to go elsewhere. A lot of you have mentioned the four linebackers too. That that surprised me a little bit. Not the fact that Isaiah Simmons was cut. I thought, okay, Isaiah Simmons is cut. That's going to open it up for Welch. So I get it, the four, but then I'm wondering if the reason they're carrying four is twofold. One, nickel is kind of the new base, so you only play two down linemen or two linebackers in that case. So maybe you're like, yeah, maybe we don't want to, but maybe they're pretty confident that they can get one of those guys back on the practice squad. And remember, we've got those practice squad elevations in the regular season. So maybe they're looking at that as a way of like, okay, yeah, we do want another linebacker, but we're going to use the whole practice squad elevation, game day elevation thing with that. And I've seen people throw that possibility out there. Same with Kalen King. I get it. I understand it. But remember too, you only was it three? You get three elevations. And you got to decide whether to put them on the active roster or not. Eli saying, does it compare to the Reggie White trade? I don't think it does because Reggie White was a free agent signing. I mean, maybe in terms of hype and excitement, yeah. But from a trade, I don't know what it would compare to for Green Bay. I mean, Charles Woodson was a free agent signing. Brett Favre was a trade, but nobody knew Brett Favre was going to be Brett Favre at that moment. So I don't know. I don't know. Because if we compare it to just like trades, I don't know if we have a comparison with that. Would it compare if we looked at other sports? Maybe would it compare a little bit to the Dame trade with the Bucks? And I don't want to get into that didn't work out and all, but at that time, at that moment, the excitement and the enthusiasm, would it compare to when the Bucks acquired Dame? Even maybe when the Brewers acquired Yelich, but even with that, I don't know if anybody really thought Christian Yelich was gonna be an MVP that year. But, if that thing does happen, we know the expectation. We know what the goal is. We know what the minimum is. It's Super Bowl. It's not just making the postseason. It's not just making the postseason as a wild card team and maybe winning a postseason game. It's not that. It's Super Bowl. High, super high expectations. You don't make franchise defining moves like that without without putting some stuff on the line, and maybe it's at your job. C-Bomb says Parsons would be the biggest trade acquisition ever for the Packers. I really don't think there's anything to compare. It is absolutely a defining move for the front office. If it works, they are heroes. If he falls off the map, it could set the organization back. Jeremy, that's a good one too. The CC trade for the Brewers. I could see that one. That's a solid comparison. I could get on board with that one. So I saw this too, and here's the thing too. Even with the 4 linebackers, or even with the cornerback group, remember, it's just the initial 53-man roster. Expect changes. Maybe even today after some waiver claims. Packers scouring what other teams have or what other teams who they've cut, who they put on waiver wires. Don't be surprised if Green Bay adds a couple people from the waiver wire. So some of these guys that they're keeping on the initial 53 may not actually be on the 53. So I got to imagine some of these guys that maybe are on the bubble, that barely just made it on, they're still probably a little nervous and hoping that the Packers don't make any waiver claims or add anybody on the waiver wire or free agency if they're a vested veteran. I saw Aaron Wilson, who covers the Texans, posted, Raiders or Texans waive former Raiders first-round corner Arnett Jr. Arnett could be claimed on waivers. Previous interests included the Packers. So there is a shot that Green Bay, maybe kind of like the offensive line depth where they made a trade, they're looking at their corner depth and like, we feel like we could do better elsewhere. We feel like we could add better talent elsewhere. And maybe that's the route they go today or in the next couple days. So something to kind of keep in the back of your mind with this initial 53. Let's see what happens today. If the Packers are able to claim anybody off waivers from other teams or in the next couple days here. Because today we're going to find out more about, okay, who's signing on to the practice squad and if there's going to be any other player movement. So continue to send me your thoughts on not only your initial reaction, your opinion on the Packers 53-man roster, but is there anybody on the, where are you at on this balancing act, on this weight system here of like, are you getting into like, oh gosh, this is going to happen with Micah Parsons, where you're at that side, where you're starting to get to the side that you're ready to get your heart broken and shattered into a few pieces because you're all in on that? Are you a little still apprehensive because I don't believe it that they would actually do it? Plus, I don't want to get my heart broken, put all my chips in and get my heart broken and get all upset and all that. Or maybe you're of just the move, hey, I don't want Green Bay to trade all of that capital for one player. Maybe you're of that perspective too. If you are, let me know. Like, where are you at? Where are you at with this whole thing? I'm curious. I know we did a poll question a couple weeks ago, kind of related to the Hendrickson and Micah Parsons and maybe not making a move. Parsons by far wanted, I think it was like 48, 49% people said that they wanted the Packers to get him. Then second leading vote getter was Stan Pat. I got to admit it. I'm getting a little bit to that side, like I might start to be buying in here a little bit. And I don't want to. Just looking at Parsons, I mean, these are the numbers. He has played, 2021, played 16. Then he was 17. Last year, he played in 13 games. He played 13 games last year, and he still had 12 sacks. He has had double-digit sacks every single season. Every single season in his 4 years. The pro. Even just playing 13 games last year, and he still had 12 sacks. And I'm going to pick on somebody here, and I apologize. I'm trying not to do this all the time with players and that, but I got to call a spade sometimes. You know who hasn't had a double-digit sack in his career? Rashawn Gary. Rashawn Gary, who's been in the league since 2019, has not had a double-digit sack. Closest he had was 2021 with 9.5. Rashawn Gary has been in the league 2 years longer than Micah Parsons. He has played in 90 games. Micah Parsons has played in 63 games. Micah Parsons, in his career, already has 52.5 sacks. Rashawn Gary, 39. Forced fumbles, Micah Parsons, 9. Rashawn Gary, 6. I mean, we could do this all day. Solo tackles, Parsons, 172. Rashawn Gary, 129. We could do this all day. It would be an upgrade. Can it work? Contract-wise? Salary cap-wise? It'd probably figure something out, but boy. All right, let's finish up this hour with Morgs. Good morning, Morgan.
What's a good word today?
I'm a little tired, I'll admit it.
Yeah,
I took some Benadryl, couldn't sleep. Allergies kick in. We had 2 games last night, so
yeah, we were in Pepin. We made the haul up to Pepin for games, so I feel you on the turnaround. I bet there are some kiddos this morning hurting too. That was a late return time.
Yeah.
The worst is when you take Benadryl thinking it's going to help you sleep, and it doesn't, and then you're just hanging out with Benadryl.
I took it this morning.
Bad move.
I couldn't stop sneezing.
Rookie mistake. So now you're also drinking coffee. Your body doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
One half is Benadryl trying to shut down, and the other half is the caffeine being like, all right, let's get to work.
I need a third cup, and I don't have any more, so
You're
might
gonna
have to run out somewhere.
It would be worth it today. Yeah. It would be worth it. So I heard allergies are bad this year, yeah?
Okay, I'm glad you said that. So then I know it's that.
Okay, because I don't personally have them, but I have friends that do.
This is the only time of the year I get them.
And they have said it's miserable right now. Like something is making the allergy situation really bad.
Yeah.
How'd the games go last night for you guys?
I didn't do a good job coaching.
No?
No. First one, so I'm putting the blame on myself.
Okay, or the Benadryl. You could probably blame the Benadryl.
Yeah.
So do you guys pack the snacks and stuff?
Not for games like this, but tournaments, yeah.
Okay, so. Are you a banana family? Do you pack the bananas? Okay, because Siggy will burn
oranges,
through bananas.
Yeah.
It's actually Banana Day.
Oh. Okay.
So much like pineapple and pizza and the polarization of that classic, I know you're shaking your head.
Yuck.
Banana splits, yay or nay?
I haven't had one in a long time, but that actually sounds really good.
Okay, so whoever's idea it was to incorporate fruit and bananas into the ice cream world, yes. And I will say, if you are in the market for ice cream, if you go through Chautauqua, there's a place called Kirshner's.
Mm-hmm.
They just won the World Dairy Expo Grand Champion flavor in chocolate peanut butter and lemon poppy seed, which you could do.
Yep.
And then they also won a first place for their vanilla. So they had quite a showing. So if you're driving up towards the Barron County area for tournaments or you're traveling for ball or whatever, every weekend, it seems like totally relate.
Yeah.
But find something to do with the family while you're taking those trips. You can pop into Chautauqua, grab a couple scoops at Kirshner's. You would be eating champion winning ice cream.
Nice.
So there you go. Just a little heads up for you.
That does sound good too. So 10 seconds or 20 seconds. What is that?
I'll go get you some coffee today. The struggle's real for Kasper, you guys.
There was, I will admit it. I was talking with my eyes closed there for a little bit earlier.
Be like a goldfish. Your eyes are open, but you're sleeping on the inside.
I feel like my buddy Jake right now.
Narcoleptic.
That's what I feel like.
He can give you some survival tips, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Thanks, Morgs.
Anytime.
1 in, 2 more to go. We'll be back after these quick news updates. Second hour kicking off right now on this Wednesday morning. We are making the turn on this week, the final week of August, heading into Labor Day weekend. A couple texts to catch up on. EC Ryan says if the trade goes through, it's huge, especially since Goody isn't very good at drafting. Yeah, Jeremy says too. One thing everyone has to remember is Jerry Jones is who the Packers are dealing with, and if Jerry don't want to trade, he ain't gonna. I don't know what to expect. My hopes are up, but reality is keeping me in check. Hope they can make the deal, but only giving it a 30% chance. So we'll definitely be talking more about this throughout the morning. Also, continue to send me your thoughts on the initial 53-man roster. If you'd like, hit me up with a text on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line, 715-830-1912. Also, Brewers. Chat about the Brewers in the first hour. The Cardiac Brewers picking up another win last night, but not making it any easier on themselves, even jumping out to a 6-0 lead. Diamondbacks able to tie it up in the 8th at 8-8, but thanks to Isaac Collins hitting the sacrifice fly in the bottom of the 9th to secure the win. So the Brewers will try to go for a series win tonight, 6:40 against the Diamondbacks. Quinn Priester is going to be on the mound for the Brewers. Reminder, this is a 4-game series, so tomorrow they got another one. That's going to be the getaway day before they travel to Toronto for this weekend to take on the Blue Jays. And thank you to the Giants as well, because they beat the Cubs last night, so the Brewers up 5.5 in the division here this morning. Still the only team in Major League Baseball with at least 80 or more wins. We were talking a little bit about this piece by ESPN because it's the question, it's the $1 million question that everybody wants to know the answer to. But it's a really good piece if you have a chance to check it out this morning. It was just posted this morning by Jesse Rogers from ESPN. How the Brewers have built a $115 million Major League Baseball powerhouse. Some good behind the scenes info talking about this rule, the check game that they apparently play. The rules of check game are simple. If you talk about your own accolades, you get a check. If you try to defend yourself, that's a check. If you pass blame on someone else, that's a check. And it's not just on the players. Coaches are liable. Front office is liable. Even Mark Atanasio isn't off limits. And Murphy would, this was a quote from Pat Murphy, he would come in just off the plane with his Brewer stuff on. You wanted everyone to know you're with the Brewers, wearing your stuff in public? That's a check. His son even got a check when he had to go up into a suite in San Francisco because it was too cold. So Pat Murphy holding everybody accountable. And, we've talked about at times how, Pat Murphy, with all of his college coaching experience with these youngsters, how much is that coming into play? Christian Yelich saying, quote, "We joke around with each other and say that it's Milwaukee Community College because that's how we play the game, and that's kind of the guys we have." And Murph's the manager, and there's a lot more talk about fundamentals and base running and little details of the game that you might hear in college. Pat Murphy also saying, "I don't think we have a secret sauce, and I don't think we do things that much better than anyone else. We've got a great group that competes. We're under construction. We're not setting limits on what we can do. How do we get better today? That's the emphasis. That will always be the emphasis." So really good stuff. Take a look at it. And it's got quotes from Matt Arnold, how they kind of got Isaac Collins. He said that one came over talking baseball over pizza. I mean, it kind of comes off as a very everyday gentleman type of feel and how the Brewers kind of operate things within the organization. So go ahead and check it out a little bit later on and such, because it just dropped this morning. So taking a look at that. So how are you doing this morning, Lucas?
Very well.
I should turn your mic on. I thought you were on 2. You're
Very
on 3.
well.
So there you
hi.
go. Yeah, how you doing?
Very good so
Yeah?
far. Yeah.
All right. So Thank you, Evan. Ragweed season popping off, the bane of my existence. Get that allergy nasal spray, brother. Yeah, I used to do it, so. But
Not good times.
no, not at all. But yeah, how much are you still paying? Are you? Yeah, I know the baseball season's going on. You still following your 20s and that at this point?
Because I get notifications on how the games goes. I guess that's about it. Yeah. That team sucks. I mean, they won last night.
They did.
They actually came from behind and won. I was like,
give them a little credit.
Well, yes. It seems like usually it involves a Matt Wallner home run or something. So better believe Polad's like, we could trade him for a 15-year-old somewhere. Ooh, can you imagine how much money we can save?
Yeah.
I will say, seeing this story here in the $115 million payroll, which is less than the Twins, incredibly, going, well, that's organizational differences. One team seems to be and by team, I should say franchise organization, seems to prioritize financial savings and being in the black. And the other seems to prioritize finding a way to win with the restrictions you have. Just because you have a low payroll doesn't mean you cannot win. There you go, black and white between two teams on either side of the Mississippi River. Simple as that.
Yep. Okay, my apologies, people. I said 5.5. It's 6.5. Holy moly!
Whoa! Wow, Cubs fan.
Wow.
Jeez.
The amount of messages I'm just getting right now. Appreciate you correcting me, but holy moly. Okay, 6.5. Misspoke.
Don't give the Cubs too much credit here. Come on.
Apparently, I'm a Cubs fan.
Fly the bleeping W. Wow.
6.5. Okay, my bad. I misspoke. Apologies.
Marty.
Yeah. But no, I don't think you probably haven't had a chance to read that piece.
No, I haven't, and I've been paging through it since you mentioned it. And yes, it's a little bit more of a long read for ESPN by ESPN standards. I mean, they've had longer ones, but it looks like this is a good get under the hood and explain stuff kind of story. So I would encourage anyone, find time to give it a read.
By the way, speaking of ESPN and such, did you see this as a little business of sports thing that they're going to? I think I saw this last week. The pay per read thing. They're going to kind of wipe that out and get rid of that.
I did not see that. There's been a lot of ESPN stuff out there now, but
it's kind of changing that philosophy because I didn't have the subscription, so I always counted on you because you did.
ESPN Plus, and so that's how I can read a lot of the stuff. Yeah,
but there was that report last week that they were kind of thinking about getting rid of that.
Interesting. Given that I can't remember, there was another news. It wasn't like a newspaper, but some website that was starting to lean more in that direction right now. And you've seen more of those dynamic. Well, gosh, there's this shareholder proposal with the New York Times to do dynamic pricing with that. Really? Okay, that's cool. Probably make money, but wouldn't be popular. This is another direction, and maybe they're.
So I just kind of Googled it here. Apparently, it's going to get rebranded as ESPN Select.
Oh, yes.
A part of the streaming service over there. So you, as a existing ESPN Plus subscriber, will automatically transition to the ESPN Select plan.
Okay, that, yes.
So,
but that means, so then this... See, that actually makes me less inclined to want to be an ESPN Select subscriber.
Do tell.
The main reasons to have it, well, for one, it wasn't that expensive, relatively speaking. But, sorry, it's NFL primetime. That was one of my all-time favorite shows when it came back and it was on ESPN Plus. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll spend a little extra money because I know I'll watch that versus... How many of us have a bunch of streaming services and we watch maybe one program every 7 months?
And I still can't find something to watch.
Exactly. Yes. So how much money are we wasting on that?
Yeah.
And now this is where you could always do the whole, well, if you pay for cable and you're spending however tens of many dollars over decades, not just right now, and you end up watching 2 cable channels. That also happens all the time. It's human nature. Not the case with ESPN Plus, because that is something I would regularly watch. Outside of that, though, It's a lot of the more peripheral stuff. Like, you're not going to get me all excited about Western Kentucky playing Utah State basketball. That's on ESPN Plus. Well, maybe not that particular man, but that's the sort of stuff you have there. There's a lot of content. I have no interest in that because it's not my teams.
Mm-hmm.
So primetime, of course, is going to stay on best, as far as I know, it's transitioning to ESPN Select. If the written content, which was one of the coolest things, like, well, yeah, I get to read that and you all have to pay for that. Well, if that's free, then why am I going to pay for that? It'll probably stay for primetime.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me less likely to.
Right.
And if it gets to a point of like, okay, like, I mean, to be perfectly blunt right now, got some car issues, nothing catastrophic, but the tires probably got to be replaced. Ball bearing is really noisy. So you pretty much know the Luke Anthony mobile driving around town right now because you can hear it. It's going to need some work. Hail damage, blah, 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 blah. You know, deductibles. We're all going through this sort of stuff. And right now we're one of those points where like, so can we cut something? And that now, hearing something like that,
yeah, this is from
that might be it.
Awful announcing from just a couple days ago for the millions of sports fans who have landed on an ESPN article but ran into a paywall, which they either did not have a subscription for or potentially struggled to remember a password to access.
Mm-hmm.
Awful announcing has learned ESPN has strategically moved away from paywalling new written content, seeing most formerly paywalled content now free from their former confines. An early clue of this strategic change came in an ESPN Fantasy Football press release earlier this month. For the first time ever, all ESPN Fantasy Football articles will be available to all fans, providing everyone with complete access to all of its best content at ESPN.com. So,
interesting too. ESPN Plus, I was seeing from another, maybe it's the same one, maybe a different one from Awful announcing. ESPN Plus subscribers, a pretty precipitous rise from 2018 to 2022. And it gets into like 24, 25, 26 million. It peaks. It gets to 24 million in November 22. It gets to 26 million in November 23. By November 24, down just a little bit, 25.6, but it kind of fluctuates. But now it's not at 24.1. Now that's a May number. The May numbers are different from later numbers, and you can tell there's a little bit of that seasonal stuff.
mm-hmm.
Probably fantasy football and, well, some combination of extra college football, NFL primetime. There are probably a few that are like, yeah, I'll just buy it for Berman because I like that, because I grew up with that, and then they're out for the rest of the year. Okay, fine. Well, 24.1 is the lowest number we've seen since sometime in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So factoring for seasonal fluctuation, there might be a decline. There's other stuff that's moving around. UFC, etc., is going to be moving. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm curious for anybody out there, if you want to chime in, how many people out there, like, whether it's The Athletic or something like that, if anybody subscribes to stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Like I subscribe to The Athletic, but for this reason only. One, yes, it's for the Packers stuff. I don't like that Brewers really aren't on there. They don't have a dedicated writer anymore. But every time I try to cancel, then I get the offer of just $1 a month. If you stay on, I'm like, okay, it's $1 a month. Then I can do that.
Right.
But then if it's like $20 a month, I'll go cancel it because I don't use it enough for $20.
Probably like with a lot of cable companies around the country, where you cancel and immediately you get the promotions to stay on.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
So,
mm-hmm. It may be kind of like obvious, like, oh, you're going to give me a promotion now. Okay, what is it? But if it keeps you on board, it's better to have a reduced rate than no rate at all.
Yep.
So I'm
just waiting now though, because I've lost track for that automatic renewal, and I'm like, what? Because the price increase.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, my promo's done, so I got to cancel it now. So
now you got to go through the process.
Yep.
So I don't know what that's gonna mean. Yeah, Berman sounds like he's gonna be around for a while yet. So I don't know that I'm gonna be eager to cancel anytime soon. Let's see if there's any other premium content. Exactly how it all plays out.
C-Bomb says he subscribes to The Athletic only during football season. So
there you go.
Yep. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll talk some more football coming up as well. The 53-man rosters are set for now. We'll discuss coming up in just a little bit. Reminder, you can head to our website at sportstalk1051.com and start making your picks for the upcoming pro football season with our Pro Football Pick'em Challenge. Just head to sportstalk1051.com, click on that Fan Cave tab, scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you'll actually see 2 contests. You can make your weekly picks plus the Survivor Challenge, your Survivor Pick'em Challenge. So a couple of them over there. It's free to do. And it's a lot of fun. A lot of bragging rights are on the line. Games will be starting next week. So make sure you get on over, again, to our website, sportstalk1051.com, and you click on that Fan Cave tab, and it's on the bottom. Scroll all the way down to the bottom past the podcasts and all that, and you'll be able to see that over there. Packers, and like every other NFL team, having to get down to 53 players yesterday afternoon. The initial roster is set, but it could change as soon as today, as teams will find out around 11 o'clock. It looks like teams will be informed after 11 o'clock of players that were claimed off of waivers. So if the Packers did put any waiver claims on any players and they were awarded them, they should find that out, and then they'll have to make a corresponding roster move to make room for that player. Or maybe there's some other deals to be happening, which we'll talk about here in just a little bit. But with the initial 53-player roster, what were some of the surprises, if there were any surprises? A lot of you saying it's the Kalen King decision to move on from him. We'll ask Joseph. Was there any surprises for you on that 53-player roster?
By the way, good morning.
Morning.
And heard any good rumors lately?
Maybe. It depends if you're a dog fan on International Dog Day yesterday. So,
surprises. You've got linebacker depth or lack thereof. Both Christian Welch and Isaiah Simmons both cut. So your 4 linebackers as of right now are Coop, Quay, Isaiah, and Tyron Hopper. So that was a little bit of a surprise. I think you're right about the Kalen King situation. Also, Corey Ballantyne cut. And so Micah Robinson and Kamal Hadden make the team. I think Bo Melton, I wasn't surprised at that. I was actually very pleased to see that. So I thought that was relatively that cornerback room surprises in there. Bo Melton, not a surprise. Donovan Jennings, I think, making it as probably that last offensive lineman. I think Goody is going to be scouring the waiver wire today to possibly be looking for someone better than Jennings. Of course, the trade for Darian Kennard, the injured reserve designated to return players, Jacob Monk, and I believe the other one was Marshawn Lloyd. So nothing really jumped out, but 4 tight ends, not surprised about that. When you go 4 tight ends, you sacrifice someplace else. And so it is a game of Jenga or dominoes when you're looking at putting together your roster. I think Green Bay, there are rumors that they're looking to upgrade that potential practice squad quarterback position. And so you could see a QB sign today, but overall, not shocked. I think I would have loved to have seen the Hardman experiment work out, only because of special teams, but it was pretty clear to me that he really wasn't the guy. And I think when you look at what Malik Heath brings to the table, I think that was a no-brainer. There's some guys who certainly were released that I think make the practice squad that do have an upside. So we'll see what happens today. But I think this roster for the most part is pretty much set.
Yeah. You look at that cornerback, that's where I'm kind of curious if there is any moves made today. Would they maybe potentially look to add a corner on that waiver market? Because obviously with the offensive line, it was clearly evident they were not happy with the depth. Otherwise you don't make a trade like that, sending a 6th-round pick. It may not seem like a lot, but still,
you bet,
to acquire somebody that wasn't with you all preseason, you obviously felt like that depth wasn't good enough. You look at the depth at cornerback, you're keeping a first-year player and a rookie. I would be surprised if they tried to add a corner today on the waiver wire.
100%. I think you got Micah Robinson and Kamal Hadden as what I would call your 5th and 6th cornerbacks. You're always looking to upgrade. You're always looking to upgrade that bottom third of the roster. And so I think if there is somebody out there that Goody's done homework on, the staff has done homework on, I don't see them hesitating at all to make some kind of move. And I think that probably is the likely place that you're going to see something. Maybe you do go with Micah Robinson, putting him on the practice squad or something along those lines. So yeah, I think the one that surprised me, I think, going back to that cornerback room was Kamal Hadden, and he played well against Seattle. And I think this is why you have to look at the totality of the preseason, and then also looking at what you're seeing in practice tape, because he didn't have a good preseason to start, but he got better as the preseason went on. And so I thought that was an interesting look there. But again, I think this is pretty much the 53 that you're going to see against the Lions in about a week and a half.
Yeah, unless they have a new defensive player, that's kind of all over the place.
Wait, what?
Right now.
I didn't hear about this.
Reggie White, the reincarnation of Reggie White.
Well, I'm seeing that apparently God has now, once again come in and started having conversations with defensive players.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm still apprehensive on this. I'm not putting all my chips in. I think it's, is there a little bit there? Probably. Maybe,
I think there's a lot there. Truthfully, I think there is a very.
I'm sure there was
thing.
A conversation. I still have my serious doubts whether it happens.
Yeah, me too, and not from the Packers side of things. Here's the thing. First of all, a couple of things. I think the one that got me last night, and of course, everyone's refreshing their Twitter timeline last night, waiting for the news. And the one that got me was when Kuhn said something.
Now, did you just see Matt Steinman's tweet?
I did not.
Okay, so Matt Steinman and Kuhn were talking in instant messaging, and Kuhn pretty much said it was a troll tweet. So
there you go. Okay.
So, yeah.
So which I'll say this. I don't think an employee of the Green Bay Packers should be trolling the fans. I'm just going to say that. And, Kuhn can do whatever he wants to, but that's the one that kind of got me. But here.
Yeah, it says 1.4 million views on a troll tweet. You should be ashamed of yourself. Kuhn says, I tweeted like 10 times this year. I need to catch up. I have said many times I am not in the news breaking business.
There you go. There you go. So yeah, when that was the one that got me, because he is an employee of the Packers. But here is the I guess the backstory, if you will. I do think Green Bay has probably gone deep into at least some conversations. All right. I don't see Dallas doing it. I regardless of anything else, I don't see Dallas doing it. I don't think this is going to be one of those where, and here's the thing. Here's what really gets me, Captain, because everyone's going to say when it doesn't happen. Well, there he is again. Gutekunst, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
All right. Gutekunst made an offer for Khalil Mack.
That has been confirmed beyond belief.
And Gutekunst made an offer for Chase Claypool. Okay, so the narrative that he never does anything is completely wrong, because it takes two to make these trades. And again, going back to the Khalil Mack trade, the reason he was traded to the Bears is because the Raiders felt that second round pick was going to be a better second round pick than the Packers. So it does take two to tango. Do I think Green Bay has serious interest in one Micah Parsons? Yes. Now, here's where I give it a little bit more credibility too. The wiping of your team from social media means absolutely zero to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Absolutely zero. Matter of fact, my wife and I were talking last night. Friends of ours are going through a divorce, and he wiped all of his social media of his ex-wife. Well, that means zero when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Here's why I do think there's something there. When you alienate the agent, and you make this now a two-person conversation rather than a three-person conversation, that's when I think the fire becomes hotter, because now the agent is probably not very happy that he's being pushed out of the contract negotiations with Micah Parsons, because Jerry Jones has said this is a two-person conversation, and it's between Micah and myself. Well, the agent is not going to stand for that. And depending on how Micah Parsons feels about his agent, I think that's where there's more meat to the bone on this thing.
Doesn't he have the same agent as Jordan Love?
He does. He does. And he works out in the offseason with Rashawn Gary. And he went to school with Rasheed Walker. And there's so many connective points there.
I thought you were going to go with the connection that Micah Parsons showed up to the final preseason game eating nachos, cheese, Green Bay. I mean, come on now. By the way, the nacho choice looked like he got it at a Little League ballpark. It was just that plastic tray and just a little cheese.
You kind of dip it in. Yeah, exactly.
Those are good.
No, I'm not.
Just not going with the loaded ones.
But by the way, one of the best Little League ballparks I've been to is the one just outside of town by Fox Run.
Okay, yeah, Seymour.
They actually serve booze at that one.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, when I went out and saw a couple of the kids I know in the neighborhood play this past summer, I was like,
Feverfest, yeah.
Oh, man, just something. But here's the thing. I don't think this happens because I don't think Dallas will let it happen. Period. End of discussion. Do I want it to happen? Would I give up the King's ransom for Micah Parsons? Yes. Do I think Green Bay has, again, for their part, done their homework and had conversations on what it would take? Yes. Do I see Jerry Jones doing it? No.
It's a job-defining move for Goody, would you say?
No doubt.
I mean, you make the move, you give up all that draft capital. It doesn't work. You're set back a little bit. If it does work, you're glorified. I mean, you're
Sonny Weaver Jr., man. Again, but Goody already has that defined move on his resume, and that is one Jordan Love.
Yeah.
And so, if you're looking at it from I need to make a splash, I think Goody's already done that, and I think Goody has shown that he's willing to spend money in free agency. I think Goody has shown he's willing to have conversations, legitimate conversations about NFL superstars or good players. I don't want to put Chase Claypool in that superstar bar, but yeah, I just don't see Dallas doing it. I look at the way Jerry Jones has negotiated with his players, and it usually comes up to the 11th hour, and Jerry usually caves in at a certain level. I mean, it's almost this. He just loves being in the news type of a situation, and so he's going to make this about him and about the Cowboys.
He said it in his documentary. He wants the soap opera effect, and it's the gambler in him, and that I think he's gambling stupidly the last few years of just waiting till the last minute because the prices just keep going higher and higher.
And there's got to be, and I don't look, money talks, BS walks. I get that, but there's got to be some animosity from some of these players.
Get right.
It's a human being you're dealing with. And yes, they're getting a lot of zeros on their paycheck, but there's got to be this, God, I hate that guy.
Yeah.
Type of, I mean, there has to be. It's human nature.
Right.
And so again, when I was reading people last night on social media who I genuinely trust say, you know what, guys, there's more to this story. Then I said to myself, okay, there's legitimate discussions, talks, whatever, inside 1265 that maybe this could happen. I still don't see it happening.
Yeah, I don't see it either. Okay, so let's say it does, just for who's the odd man out in this thing? Is it Gary or Van Ness?
I think Gary's proven.
Is he?
Well, when you compare him to Van Ness.
Yeah, because, I was going through some of these, and Micah Parsons has double-digit sacks every single year. Even last year when he played 13, he had 12. Rashawn doesn't have a double-digit sack. He's played 2 years longer. Micah's already got more tackles, more forced fumbles, and all that. And
it's in my opinion, Gary's obviously more expensive. So if I'm Jerry Jones, and obviously we've all probably gone online to see what the deal might look like, and I'm seeing 2 number ones, a number 2, maybe a mid-level pick and a player, and so. If I'm Jerry Jones, I'm more likely to go after Lucas Van Ness because he's cheaper. Yeah. He's still got we still don't know. And again, first year it looked like Lucas Van Ness was going to be a great draft choice. Yeah. Second year goes into sophomore slump, new defense, mind you, but still doesn't perform at the level that we expected. I would, if I'm Jerry Jones, I say Lucas Van Ness. And you know what? I probably, get a punt returner Jerry Jones right now. If the Packers are seriously interested, Jerry Jones has every right to fleece Green Bay. And because you do that for a player like, again, going back to a Herschel Walker type deal, going back to when Mike Ditka gave up all those draft choices for Ricky Williams. Right now, Jerry Jones, if he wants David G.D. Putney, he's going to get David G.D. Putney because he feels like it.
Yeah. I mean, there's no question if that move does happen, the expectations they move up twofold. It's Super Bowl or bust.
By the way, did you see that the line for Green Bay winning the Super Bowl? The odds actually went up.
Did it really?
It went better. Yeah.
With the rumors.
Yes, with the rumors. Yeah. So that's the other thing I look at is what's Vegas thinking about this? Because Vegas usually, I don't know how, kind of knows what's happening before the rest of us does. So, yeah, I think, by the way, the out of all of this, Matt Orzech gets a 3-year extension. And so that's the biggest news, I think, when you look at the cut down and the Micah Parsons rumors. I think now they have one of the top 5 long snappers in the NFL.
The lineage of tenured long snappers for Green Bay continues with the Rob Davises, the Brett Goods, and now the Matt Orzechs.
I think Rob Davis, I think he's probably more powerful in the Packer organization than we think.
Yeah. Hey, you don't talk about the long snapper until you have a bad one that has those low snaps. He obviously was the big key to McManus hitting all those kicks.
He totally was. He totally was. And so, but look, the thing I'm going to hate about this is when it doesn't happen, people are going to crap on Goody.
Yep, I agree.
And that's the thing.
Because they did that with the Khalil Mack thing.
And I'm like, guys, it takes 2 to make these deals.
Even when Gruden came out and said, yeah, we took Chicago over Green Bay because it didn't matter. It was, nope, he didn't get it done. He should have offered better.
That's the thing that's really going to bother me about this whole thing is it's like, well, fire Goody. There we go again. There we go again, Packer fans. That's BS, and you just got to let that stuff go.
I completely agree. So I believe they're actually going to practice today for the first time and such. So maybe kind of get a glimpse. But Rasheed Walker's back. The Aaron Banks thing is kind of weird. In this whole thing. So I think if he's out, Jordan Morgan's probably in. But if Aaron Banks is active, I think we're still kind of waiting to see what happens with the Jordan Morgan situation because the guy played like a starting left tackle for crying out loud.
If you look at it from a scout standpoint, that guy is a left tackle. His feet, the way he moves, the way he slide steps, everything about him screams left tackle. And if it doesn't happen this year, all right, there's no way in my mind Rasheed Walker gets a second contract with Green Bay. Right. I think this is his last year, and Jordan Morgan slides into that left tackle position next year. And again, when you're drafting, when you're looking at building a team, you have to look at it that way. Well, we can only afford these guys. We can't afford this guy. And so let's draft his replacement. And so I see right now Jordan Morgan has played really well. I don't think Rasheed Walker has lost the position. You could make an argument Jordan Morgan has won the position, but without seeing Rasheed, it's really hard to kind of make that value judgment. So I think the bottom line is Morgan is your first reserve off the bench at multiple positions. And I think if there were an injury, I think there's shuffling happening because at that point LaFleur gets his 5 best out there.
I'm even a little worried about Belton, the second round rookie, because of just the laundry and the flags that, he was going to get a spot, but if he's called upon, I'd be a little bit worried throwing him in there this year, considering what we saw in preseason.
The Belton draft choice, after watching him in the preseason, was very similar, in my opinion, to the Banks free agent signing. Green Bay, and we've talked about this, going away from the Aaron Jones running game, which was predicated on a lot of outside zone type of stuff, where you're getting Jones in a cutback lane. The Josh Jacobs running game is much more mano-a-mano and duo and double teams and that type of thing, where you're going straight at a guy and just knocking him off the ball. Belton is that road grader. Banks is that road grader. But again, Belton has a lot of technique stuff he needs to work on. Not surprisingly, for an offensive lineman coming out, drafted in the second round, and again, learning the nuances of playing technique rather than I'm just a big guy who can maul people.
Right.
So, yeah, I think I saw enough to say I liked it, what I saw. I can see why Green Bay went that direction. And again, I think Green Bay and I think Gutekunst, I think LaFleur are really switching up this offense to Josh Jacobs, play action pass, all those types of nuances, and really building more of a power team and a duo team than an outside zone team.
Before I let you go here, just because kickoff is tomorrow, you being an alum, how are you approaching this Badger football season?
I don't know.
That's the best way I could describe it.
I was talking to a good friend of mine, and he asked me, and again, I used to be a season ticket holder. Again, like you said, a proud alum of the university. My dad went there. My dad played when they actually had a JV team there. So my roots run deep and bleed Wisconsin red. First of all, it's make or break this year for this regime.
Mm-hmm.
And I think also McIntosh probably not on solid footing as well. We don't know what the offense is going to look like. Everybody has been told, and we've heard that it's going to go back to Wisconsin roots, where it's going to be based on a power running game with play action passes. Billy Edwards, from what we've heard, could be the guy to run this offense. So you like what you're hearing, but we liked what we heard with Phil Longo,
right?
And so my expectations, the bar is very low right now, and I think if they get to a bowl game, I think that's probably the bar that saves Fickell's job.
Mm-hmm.
If they get into a bowl game and maybe even win that bowl game, doesn't matter what bowl game it is, I think that probably saves his job. If he doesn't, I think at that point, I think McIntosh and Fickell both are on the hot seat.
Mm-hmm.
My expectations very low. I believe the over/under is 4.5 or 5.5 wins,
which is a really good number too.
Yeah, it really is. I'm just hoping to see what Wisconsin football was meant to be, and it's going to be interesting. I guess I don't have high hopes.
Yeah.
But I also, regardless of what I think of Fickell, I hate program turnover.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping he can get to a 7-win season and get to a bowl game.
And still looking for that marquee win too.
That's it. The signature win.
Yep.
He had a couple last year where they choked at the end, Oregon being one of them.
Yep.
So my expectations, if they can get to 7 wins, that's a successful season in my book.
I would agree. Joe, appreciate it as always. And then next week when you're in, we're going to be talking game 1, week 1, Packers, Lions, and maybe a new defensive player. Never know.
Number 11.
Never know.
By the way, also
can't be 11. Jaden Reed's got that.
No.
I don't want to get Hudson a new Jaden Reed jersey.
No,
I can't do that.
Jaden Reed wore different.
Yeah.
I believe 6 and 1 in college. I believe.
I think so. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
The Micah Parsons 11 jerseys are going off the rack at the Packer Pro Shop.
There probably is. There probably is somebody who had one made.
I'm sure.
Because I believe,
positive.
if you're still listening, I believe somebody, C-Bomb, might have ordered a J.J. Watt Packer jersey when that talk was going. So
yeah, well, I would save your money.
Yeah.
Wait for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
That's my advice.
Yep, I agree. All right, dude. Appreciate it as always, sir. We got to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a couple minutes to wrap up the second hour after these few words. All right, we are back here after, sorry for a little delay there, but I spilled my coffee all over. How about that? All right, we're going to wrap up here the first hour. Continue to send us your thoughts on, well, do you think the Brewers are actually going to the Packers, make a move to get Micah Parsons? Are you trying to get your hopes up and such? What are your thoughts? Hit us up, 715-830-1912 on that Shoe Doctor's bullpen line. Hey, Luke, can you do me a favor?
I will do you a favor.
Can you go grab some paper towels?
Yes, I will.
Was doing something, came in, didn't know we were on the air.
Spiller?
Yep, exactly. So, all right. But continue to send us those messages. 715-830-1912 on that Shoe Doctor's bullpen line. We're going to talk some more Brewers coming up next hour, as well as the Brew Crew gets set for Game 3 of their series. Oh, I'm going to need a lot more than that.
I got 5 to start.
All right. Thank you,
Tell me
sir.
if you need more.
All right. See.
Is that as bad as
Gotta fix problems for everybody.
Is this as bad as spilling coffee in the
You know what?
car?
Maybe
like
this
I
is
did?
my way of saying, you know what? I'm just going to spill coffee all over the stuff so we can't use this. And hey, got to speed up the time to move into the new studio.
Maybe so.
That's
Hint,
the
hint.
ultimate ulterior motive. That's what I'm trying to say. The ulterior motive with this whole thing. It's going to be a tradition unlike any other. I spill coffee all the time in here. At least it didn't get on me this time. I can't do it in the new studio though. So
Yeah, that's going to be if you and that's the thing.
This is
Carpet,
my
okay.
last one, and I don't have any more.
Great. So there's no more coffee in the universe.
No.
apparently.
Not from Dan today.
No.
So, anyways.
Well, that's the thing. You don't want to spill the coffee on the AstroTurf in the new
Nope.
studio.
Nope, I don't.
I mean,
so
old carpeting going back to the 90s? Sure. Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
AstroTurf? No.
So there you have that. But all right, a couple texts to chat about. But what's this? This is from Zach. This certainly might have been something you've already talked about. But have you seen that footage? Jerry Jones talk about how horrific that? Yeah, we talked about that a long time ago too. So, and that's where a lot of people are saying that's maybe why he probably won't trade to the Packers, because he just can't stand the Packers and that.
Yeah.
But it's okay. What if there is, to quote, an offer you can't refuse?
Money
The
talks.
gambler, the businessman that he, brags himself up to be, and that's what if there is a deal like you literally cannot refuse?
What if it's the Herschel Walker trade? Which I know that's more of a Jimmy Johnson thing than
the debate though? That documentary.
Okay, do tell, because I've not seen that. So what?
I
how do
haven't
they
watched the whole thing, but that part they go back and forth, not with each other, but because they do the interview separate. There's a disagreement on who should take credit for that trade. Let's just say there's a disagreement with that, and it boils down to, well, Jimmy didn't have it in his contract that all trades go through him, and Jimmy's like, yes, it does, and it's a classic case of like, hey, this worked out, I want credit.
Of course.
Because if it didn't work out, then you're going to have, well, it wasn't me.
Right.
It wasn't me.
If it wasn't for the Jimmy Johnson trade, I mean, I'm using the term we've come up with, the Jimmy Johnson trade value chart. What I mean by that is him knowing the best way to apply the value that they got, then maybe it doesn't look as one-sided. I mean, yeah, they probably would have won a lot of the Super Bowls anyway. I know they used this to do this and let another player. Well, they might have found another way to get to those players too, or some other things can happen.
And the thing is, too, is like, okay, yep, that trade worked out for the Cowboys. But I imagine at that time, nobody was happy about it because you traded Herschel freaking Walker. You also have to nail the picks right. Otherwise,
And they did.
And who does that credit go to then? It's not just the trade, but who's the credit that goes to for making those picks?
Now, okay, so
I forgot about the whole Steve Berline, playoff and end of the year when they made the playoffs and the drama surrounding that.
That came up with the SV Pod was talking about the same thing about how Berline took over at that point. Yeah, I completely forgot about that as well. Maybe it wasn't, the Cowboys weren't quite on the radar at that point. It was more like, wow, I remember 91 going, okay, Cowboys are getting kind of good now. This is kind of neat. This is before we all started to hate the Cowboys because
Mhm.
they've been so bad, and they'd actually been kind of mediocre for a while at that point, for about almost a decade.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite, but close. Wow. Do you think Parsons is a Packer?
No,
I don't think so.
100%. No,
I don't think so.
no.
It's a fun rumor right now.
Do I believe that there was something there? Yes. Like a conversation.
Mhm.
Yes. I would be very confident in that. Now, I think if you ask Goody in public, he would deny it. If you ask him in private over a couple beers, yeah, and a guarantee that you wouldn't say anything, yeah, I think there was a conversation. I do, and I mean, let's not forget too. I think you go based off history, they did try to get Khalil Mack, who wanted that out sort of stuff, and there has been examples of that. But I would agree with Joe that if it doesn't happen, there are going to be some Packers fans that are going to blame Goody for not getting it done.
Of course.
And that's just ridiculous.
Mhm.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
That's it. Well, and also let's see how the season goes too. They get up to a good start, it may not matter as much.
Right. And hey, if I'm Lucas Van Ness and I'm Rashawn Gary and I'm hearing all this stuff, use it as motivation.
Mm-hmm.
Use it as motivation to go out there and dominate this year. But I was looking at Parsons' numbers, and they were even better than I thought they were. I mean, the double-digit sacks every single year he's been in the league, and Rashawn has 0 double-digit sack seasons. Micah played 13 games last year, had 12 sacks in 13 games. I'd like that. As a Vikings fan, would you want this to happen?
Yes. Of course you'd want him on the team.
No. On the Packers?
No.
As a Vikings fan,
no, I would not want that.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
No. Gosh,
okay.
no.
All right. Okay, 2 in. I got to get some more paper towels. Maybe see if I can find somebody I can buy a coffee from. All right, final hour kicking off right now on this Wednesday morning. Big thanks for making us a part of your starts here on this final Wednesday of the month of August. Labor Day weekend coming up here. Before we get to that, though, you got any plans for Labor Day week? How many times did you go to the fair? Are you going back again?
Okay, so now typically there's 2 visits for logistics, because my wife and my mom have different things they want to see. You're not going to be able to, like, we could have everyone go at one time. It's going to be kind of tough to do. And I love going there, so I'll go back multiple times. I mean, if I lived in Minnesota, I'm not sure if I'd want to staff the fair. That's a whole nother thing, but I'd probably go more than twice in any given year. So I've been there 2 times already. Went there opening day with my wife and my daughter, and then went back on Monday with my mom and my daughter. Interesting times both. I'm not going to belabor it too much, but I'll say day 1, broke my wife's scooter. Some of you may know she's got cerebral palsy, so she needs a wheelchair, basic wheelchair, like she can kind of walk. But I broke her scooter right as we're at the parking lot. So she has no scooter. That is an intentionally pregnant pause. We did make it through the fair that day, but it was one of those where, like, she was bummed out enough she didn't get to see as much as she wanted to. This is leading to something. Monday, on the new scooter, shout out All-Star Mobility. Thank you for getting us a new scooter. Really nice one. So my mom and I are going, she's got a lot of pain, so she's using us, borrowing Marie's scooter to get around all the distances. Parking lots are full. Can't get in. Because it's senior day and everyone with a scooter and a wheelchair is there. So, by the way, Monday, all-time record for the first Monday of the Minnesota State Fair.
Oh, wow. Nice.
That explains why every lot was full. Thankfully, we drove around for about an hour figuring what to do, made one last shot. It was open. So then we got parked, had a good day at the fair. Cool. Well, so anyway, my wife's like, I kind of want to go back and actually, like, check out the rest of the stuff when I wasn't all like over me breaking her scooter. So we're probably going back on Friday. This might be my first 3-time visit to the fair, and I'm not upset about this.
I probably wouldn't like it. I don't like lots of people in one area.
No, you wouldn't.
They annoy me. I was getting annoyed Sunday at AmFam
with the euchre celebration.
It was just, this is what I was telling her. I've never experienced this. I've been to Brewers playoff games. I've been to Lambeau playoff, like March whatever. To be in a standstill in the concourse, literally standing there, we can't get through to get to our seats. It was like, what are we doing? Because, and I'm not faulting the Brewers for this. I'm not. I get it. The displays for the euchre were in the concourse, so people want to stop and look. It jams up everything. You're trying to I'm just trying to get by you to get to my seat. And, and I get it. So I was doing drive-by. Like, I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to keep going, drive-by. I get it. Stop and look at them. It's just, holy moly. I've never gone through a game like that where I've been in a concourse.
Wow.
Where I can't move. Like, literally,
so basically leaving
there.
The stadium, but then multiplied by a lot of time during the game.
And like the team store, the line, we went to it in the 4th inning, and we still had to wait in line to get into the team store.
Yeesh.
It was nuts. I get it. I understand.
It's popular,
it was nuts. So, but it was not what I was expecting.
But and I'm sure you've talked about this already, but because I was seeing on social media, I'm like, oh my gosh, was it worth it?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I mean the pregame ceremony was very well done.
When I saw the Harry Doyle's color guy was there, I was like, oh my!
It took me a minute to figure out who that was until they said the. I'm like, oh, okay, now I see it. Now I see it. So,
wow. Okay.
Yeah,
crowd. Yeah, if don't go to the fair unless it's like, honestly, this sounds bad. Go on a really rainy, like midweek day when there are no special deals. Because otherwise, it's sea of humanity there. It doesn't help. Like it helps the weather, but it doesn't help that the weather's so good this week. Everybody's going to like an outdoor event
and
like
no
that.
Smoke, right?
No, I know. What a concept. No humidity or no smoke. We never get that nowadays.
It's just allergy season now.
Yeah, there's that. So I mean, you hear the cicadas. I know that's not an allergy thing, but it's nice if you can find the right. The other thing is find the right spots. Know where everyone's going and
I have never
Don't go
been
to
to
those.
the Minnesota State Fair.
I mean, it's worth going at least once. Now, you may come out of it going, wow, that was a mistake. I think it's I also wouldn't call it a bucket list thing either. So if you never go, it's fine. But I'd encourage you to go.
Okay.
You're not going to be overwhelmed with Minnesota sports stuff. I'm actually surprised there were people going to the Twins booth. I mean, there was the snark running through my mind. I was passing through that nonstop. But it's plenty of food options. That's the thing for most people to go there anyway.
We should do like a Wisconsin sports fair where it's just all sports games to play instead of,
ooh,
like the goldfish stuff. No. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like something like that.
Interesting idea.
Yeah. I don't know what we'd have to do in the summer, so it'd be during baseball season and such. But yeah,
maybe there's something to that.
I'm full of great ideas. Just ask me.
Well, there you go. There's yet another one. Make tons of money for somebody else who hears it and then establish it's somewhere in Mukwanago.
That'll be what happens. So, okay, let's do some stock reports here this morning. Stock risers, stock fallers. Whose stock is rising?
I'm gonna say,
don't say the tight end from Kansas City.
No, I'm not going to do that.
I did. This was from a Detroit. I promise I wasn't going to talk about it, but I will say this. I did see a headline. I think it was from a Detroit paper. Said, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Tight end that Lions face in week 6 gets engaged or something like that.
I think the Columbus Dispatch did like Ohio native.
That's awesome.
Like that.
So,
okay.
Yeah, well done.
I mean, way better than the whole "it's a love story." Yes, thank you for knowing the most famous Taylor Swift song for your lyric. Cool.
Yep, right.
But though Travis Kelce was my stock faller a few weeks ago, if you recall correctly, and let's just say that the events of yesterday,
I would say stock faller. You should have waited for another podcast episode to say it.
Probably. Look at all the.
Come on.
Look at all the clicks.
Get the clicks, man. Yeah, exactly. Downloads and all that. So,
I will actually say though the mothership.
Stock faller or a riser?
A riser.
Okay.
Yes. The baseball news is the biggest thing. And I know it's not confirmed, so I suppose this could still technically fall through. I've been holding off on wanting to talk about any of the media stuff because everything so far is sources indicate there's not been an announcement yet. But I'm a little surprised, I'm sure most people are as well, that ESPN seems to be getting maybe arguably deeper into baseball than they have been. Maybe not as high profile because of Sunday Night Baseball and the playoffs. That's you think more of that. Getting MLB TV. I know there's like Twins fans and probably fans of the other teams that are going, wait, so we're going to have to subscribe to ESPN and subscribe. Well, I mean, there are other ways that kind of happens for other fan bases as well. But still, getting that, maybe getting MLB Network. Again, that's proposed, but that's a possibility. All of that combined with now the NFL thing, the Rich Eisen return, the whole Stuart Scott thing, which you saw the intro, the throwback.
Yep.
All of that, yes, that was incredibly. Yeah, but and so I'm watching that, going, okay, it's cool. This is really cool. I'm getting flashbacks to the early aughts, late '90s.
Yep.
And then the camera comes in, and it completely took me by surprise. I'm like, wait, he's on one side of the. Oh, that's why they're doing it. And he didn't acknowledge it until much later, but that was planned to have him sit, from our perspective, on the right side of the desk and leaving the left instead of being centered. And I went, oh, they're doing the shout out right from the beginning, subtly for those that would know. And then, of course, he did tribute later on.
For Stewart.
Still, that got good ratings. It got a lot of plus PR. The other moves, like the WWE, it seems as though ESPN, between that and the sort of stuff that they're acquiring, this is probably the best news for ESPN. I would argue going back to maybe the mid-2010s, back when they were the juggernaut before John Skipper started to have a lot of other content and cuts started to happen and stuff got weird. I think their stock for a change is legitimately rising.
Just because we're on the baseball topic and we were talking about bucket lists. would you Twins and Phillies at Field of Dreams?
Ooh,
I mean, that's
boy.
coming next year announced.
That's an interesting one. I hadn't thought of
that's
trying to
that
go
would
there.
be for something for me. Like, I don't care who's playing.
And I've never been to the,
player wise.
right.
If my team's playing there, like I've never been to the Field of Dreams either.
Neither of them. No.
I would love if the Brewers are playing. I would
It's
be
not-
like really looking at going.
It's not that far.
No.
Now, I mean, sure, like everyone's going to want to go to that. So there's a little bit of the Euchre celebration effect that's probably going to happen there. Okay, I'm going to do total conspiracy thing here. That Major League Baseball selected the Twins because they knew that the team is going to struggle getting fans and having good PR for the at least short-term period. They recognized what the poll ads did. I'm not sure that Manfred wanted that when Manfred said, I know things. I'm guessing he figured that they were going to be sold and was probably surprised and was probably like, oh, great. So he directed that the Twins would be one of those teams because they knew that, Twins fans will put the poll ad stuff aside so they can travel to the Field of Dreams, and they will because, A, Iowa's got plenty of Twins fans. B, Minnesota, right next by, and there's a whole lot of others, and they'll all show up and make the Field of Dreams a big success. Then you have a big market team, the Phillies, that are successful. So you got a bit of both there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's quite to that level, but I wouldn't be shocked if that was a consideration.
I do like when Major League Baseball does this stuff, like the Little League World Series when they played it at this year, obviously the Field of Dreams, and then was it last year down in Georgia? I'm blanking on the park, but the Negro League Stadium.
Rickwood Field?
Yes, thank you. I like that they do that stuff. So I do enjoy that. I wish more sports could do something like that. I don't know how they could, but I do like that.
Well, because we've had 2 games so far. One involved the Cubs, one involved the White Sox. Okay, and then this is where we could take out some of the conspiracy element of this, and maybe it's more obvious, but it's kind of related to what I just said. So far, we've had 2 Chicago teams, and now we have a Minnesota team. You know who's probably going to be one of the next 2 teams whenever they go back? It's probably going to be the Brewers. Maybe not the next one. Like I could see the Cardinals cycling in. Trying to see, did
Kansas City maybe a little bit?
The Royals are probably going to be in there. Remember the Cardinals were supposed to play there, and then there was COVID-19. So again, these are all upper Midwest. You got your whole circuit right there. So between the Cardinals again, the Royals, and the Brewers, one of those, I think all 3 will be selected for within the next 5 iterations. I could see them at some point deciding to do like Giants, Dodgers. I know that sounds weird, but it doesn't in a way.
Yep.
But I think you're going to get the Brewers sooner than later, given the context. I think Major League Baseball knows local fans will travel.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I would definitely be trying to figure out a way to financially go to that game. My stock riser, just kind of quickly here, I'm going to go Bryce Turang for the Brewers. 9 home runs in the month of August. He entered the month of August, I believe it was with 6. Pat Murphy had said a while ago that Bryce Turang is going to be a middle of the order bat, and Pat Murphy looks like a prophet right now at this point. I mean, what Bryce Turang is doing, and good, because again, at the beginning of the year when MLB did that top 10 ranking list of every position as like their saber whatever, Turang, who won Platinum Glove and the Golden Glove, wasn't even listed as a top 10 second baseman. Brian Anderson continues to bring that up every time now he talks about Bryce Turang. I feel like he's making people take notice of him right now. I still think he kind of gets underlooked and overlooked by a national sense, but you can't deny what he's doing right now, especially from the offensive side of the plate. Bryce Turang is my stock riser.
Wow.
So.
And he was looking at like one of the
well, and you look at like his rookie year, he makes the team out of spring training, which kind of surprised people. Then he gets sent back down later on because his offense stunk. Last year he took a jump, gets the defense we knew about. This year he took another jump. So it's pretty cool to see.
Incredible.
So,
Milwaukee Community College. I hope a nickname sticks to this team. Maybe that's the one. I know that's a little long, but I hope something sticks.
Somebody's going to print the shirts now.
Yeah.
Somebody is going to print a very generic college shirt that says MCC or Milwaukee Community College.
But they can't be with the Brewers because that would be a check.
Yeah.
If anyone's hearing that going, what are you talking? Read the article at ESPN.com. You'll understand.
Yep. Somebody will come up with it, though.
Someone should, yes.
Stock faller.
I'm going to say Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah's ability to draft cornerbacks. He sucks. I'm sorry. I was talking about blind spots, I think, last week, and I was mentioning Rick Spielman and offensive linemen. So apparently Adolfo-Mensah's blind spot is cornerbacks. So he has thus far drafted Caleb Evans, Panthers. Andrew Booth, that flamed out. Mickey Blackman, just traded. I'm intentionally skipping over Kyrie Jackson for obvious reasons that does not count. So that's 4 cornerbacks he has drafted since he's taken over for a position that's never. Oh, it's been a long time since that was anything approaching a strong suit of the Vikings. None have worked. He's succeeded in other areas. But Eric Thompson from the Daily Norseman did the muscle dog, wimpy dog meme of the wimpy dog was him drafting cornerbacks. The muscle dog was undrafted free agents because he's actually done pretty decent there. But that's a pretty significant spot. And again, it's not working. That defensive backfield is gonna be a bit of a sorer spot this upcoming season. I mean, I don't know if it's the difference between Super Bowl or not, given that they could be regressing. Then that's the general perspective on the Vikings that they may. They're probably going to regress from the number of wins. Sure, I don't. Might be something we Viking fans might have to live with. Like, not everyone's going to be great. Packers fans, maybe you can speak for the proletariat here. What is the Brian Gutekunst blind spot?
Edge rushers.
There you go. So that's what we're dealing with over across the for our purple and gold team. That's yours.
There you go. It's that. So I actually do think I broke the computer with my coffee spill, by the way.
Oh boy. Well, you know what? So finally, after decades, the Apple IIe computer has gone kaput.
Yeah, I think so. It's the keyboard.
Oh,
because when I press enter, it's like not doing anything.
Oh, dang! It's just the keyboard. You realize they're going to stick with this computer now for like as long as they can. Yeah. It's an Apple IIe. Come on, they're not going to get rid of it.
We'll see if it dries out. It's probably wet underneath there.
I can't play Oregon Trail after 9 o'clock.
My stock faller, Major League Baseball scheduling. The Brewers schedule came out yesterday, 2026. Holy AL moly. Now, I am one that I don't mind playing more AL teams on a balanced schedule, but this kind of is a little ridiculous. You look at April for the Brewers schedule. Finally, they got a home opener, which is just weird to say for a team that has a dome stadium. Their last home opener was in 2021. They finally have one. They open up with the White Sox, Tampa Bay, Kansas City, Boston. Then you throw in Washington, then Toronto. Then you throw in Miami, then Detroit. They only play the Twins for one series next year, and it's in Minnesota.
And it's during rivalry weekend.
Yeah, in the middle of May. And then, as Adam McCulvey pointed out, 51 games in the first 55 days coming out of the All-Star break, including 2 week-long West Coast trips that are a part of 17 games in 17 days.
Now, I know there's a little bit of weirdness with the World Cup going on.
No. They do play the Twins at home, in August. So, yeah, they do. I see it right there now.
Yes, you're right. They do.
Yep.
Thank gosh.
Yep.
For their sake, anyway. Yeah, I know there's some weirdness with that. World Cup screws up some schedules, so that this might be a byproduct of that, because obviously they're not having World Cup games at American Family Field. We know that. I will say, as an older baseball fan, I look at March and April, and just looking through the beginning, I'm like, this is what I remember as a kid. Because remembering the Brewers as an American League team. So those of us, again, that's one of those things that's going to cycle through. Eventually, the younger fans are going to be like, why are you? Older fans are like, memories of playing the White Sox and the Royals and the Red Sox, and they were all in the same league. Tampa Bay, of course, doesn't count because what did they play each other? Weren't they in the same league 1 year, 97, and then they took it national in 98? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think so. Yeah.
Still remember that slogan. You know what? It'll all balance out ultimately, though. I mean, it does very, very American League-ish. But okay, so if we're breaking this down, I know we're not quite doing NFL. We're going to tell you all the wins so you don't have to watch the games. But Chi Sox will be a little better, I think. Rays, always competitive. Royals, kind of getting into that mode as well of late. Blue Jays, I think they may have righted the ship a little bit. But we'll see. And the Tigers, for now, are good. I'm still wondering what's going to happen when Skubal becomes a free agent and Scott Boras will make sure he goes to a big market, but that's not immediately. But with the Marlins, the Pirates, and the Nats early on, I know, and yes, they're the Red Sox. I've skipped right past Boston, but they're up and down. I don't know. I also don't look at this first month and go, wow, they've got a problem. It's not like they have to play the Dodgers, Phillies, Mets, Yankees all in one fell swoop.
September is going to be interesting, though, because 19 of their final 25 is Cubs, Reds, Phillies, Cardinals.
Yeah.
Then you throw in the Baltimore Orioles in there.
Flashbacks to 82 playing the Orioles at the end of the season. So what is the beast part right
I think
now?
it's right after that All-Star break. Just because of all those games in a row. Look at August.
Actually,
You
later
got 2
August.
days.
Okay.
Off. That's it.
Now, this is a whole lot of projection because we're going a year into the future, including trade deadline, all sorts of stuff. But that could be a gauntlet. Padres should be competitive. Dodgers are the Dodgers.
Yep.
Mariners, we have to see if they're holding because they're a little surprisingly good offensively this year. But I don't think they're going to collapse. You figure the Braves are going to come back.
Yep.
Mets are the Mets. You figure the Rangers should be a little bit more competitive. They keep underwhelming, and maybe they're that team that keeps underwhelming.
Yep. And
then the Cubs. And if you believe the Reds are a team on the rise, I just covered August 10th
through the second weekend in September.
Yeah, really through September 12th. That's the scary part if you buy that notion. I mean, you could make a case for May too. Yankees, Padres.
I'm probably
Cubs,
going to have to
Dodgers.
go to that weekend Yankee series. So Hudson can see Aaron Judge.
Hopefully not injured.
Yeah.
That tends to go. Astros also in May. Cardinals, again, another one of those teams you don't know. Maybe they're still rebuilding, or maybe they've figured it out. I mean, in that Jesse Rogers story, Mark Atanasio directly credited Bill DeWitt's approach with the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how they're doing with the current personnel. But May and August into September could be the rough spots. But we'll see. Yep. Magic of baseball, you never really know.
Right. All right, that's Stock Reports. We got to take a quick break. We'll talk some more baseball and such. No updates on Micah Parson. Sorry.
Parsons watched 25?
Oh, I probably was. Never mind. I'm not going to go down there. All right, quick break. We'll be back. Brewers Diamondbacks tonight, 6:40 first pitch. Check it out. Listen to it on 105.1 FM, 790 AM. Coverage will begin 35 minutes prior, so 6:05 tonight. And then it's a day game tomorrow. Final game of the series. Tomorrow's first pitch time, 1:10. So still 6:40 for tonight. Brewers with the win will secure a series win. Would like a little sweep. Thanks to the Giants last night for helping the crew out after ruining Sunday. They did beat the Cubs last night to help out the Brewers. So Brewers up 6.5 in the standings over the Cubs right now. But essentially it's 5.5 because why? Cubs have the tiebreaker. Because if they finish in a tie, Cubs have the tiebreaker. So
okay,
that's right.
Yeah,
it's true. I don't do the 163. So.
I see. Sorry, Brewers.
Yep. But last couple nights, it's been kind of cardiac Brewers jumping out to early leads, only to see those leads dwindle down and even get tied. But they come away with the dubs and such. So able to get the job done, I guess, at this point. But it just, to me, it looks like it's a team that's just needs that off day to come up next Tuesday.
Probably. Yeah. How many days in a row they've been?
It'll be, they've played since August 15th plus a doubleheader in there. So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. This will be their 14th in a row. 15, 16, 17, 18 games in a row.
But do they want to stop the
I
momentum?
think the bullpen wants a day off.
Yeah, probably. There's nothing left.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, they're not going to be as hot as they were, but they're, and Cardiac Brewers is probably as good of a description as they are. I mean, in terms of, like, Kurt Hogg from the Journal Sentinel has a tweet that he keeps, or a Blue Sky post. Maybe it's a tweet as well, because I follow him on Blue Sky, and he'll bring up stuff like, "I'm here to inform you that the Brewers are doing it again." And he keeps doing that. And I know the Brewers are up to something during a game when he reposts that. And it's happened a lot over the last few weeks. That's the nature of the team.
Yep.
There's so many little things to do. But yeah, okay, probably you do need a bit of a break here, because if the bullpen thing comes back to mind. We've said this before. Teams that are bullpen reliant earlier in a year, not everyone, but a lot are probably going to suffer more come October because they've blown through their arms. You don't want that to happen with Milwaukee. I don't think they're anywhere close to that right now, but you don't want to get there, because then if the other stuff doesn't work, then your margin for error is almost gone. That's bad, and then you just get slugged out by another team in a 1-game or a 3-game series, and bye-bye.
I'm curious about one potential pitcher is Robert Gasser. Like I thought he would be not pitching at all this year, but he's doing really well in AAA. And Pat Murphy yesterday had this to say. This was according to Adam McCalvey. Robert Gasser is scheduled for 5 innings on Friday, 75 to 80 pitches. Brewers still say the goal is to return late August, early September, so it appears that could be the last one. Role in the big leagues once he's ready is still being discussed, Pat Murphy said. So, I mean, you're talking about a guy, maybe another guy coming up that is actually pitching really well so far in minor league. I got the numbers up here right now, and he's got 5 starts, 2.57 ERA, 16 Ks, 2-0 record in that. So, you know, there's a potential another option maybe to work him in as a relief pitcher and kind of getting a little healthier. Because remember, you get to expand a little bit in September.
That's true.
But he is coming back from Tommy John. So how much do you want to?
Also that. Yeah. Which pitcher concerns you the most? And maybe I'm really edging towards relief, obviously, because that's the discussion here. But
relief pitcher that concerns me the most?
Yeah. Like, hey, they're great. Oh, are they going to be good going long term?
And fluctuate some of those relief pitchers so much, though. It's hard.
And that's been a Brewers thing for a long time.
It
Back
has
in the Council era, remember all the up, down, up, down, up, down things.
You know, I'll still say it, even though he has given me no reason to not. I don't know why I still get nervous when Uribe's out there.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know why. I don't know why. It's just you look at the numbers and he's been fantastic. There's just something about, I don't know if it's like because he gets so hyped up sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not going right, does he start to get in his head a little bit? Like it makes me a little nervous at times. But he's been so good this year, so I don't know why I would be like that.
Are you seeing a Devin Williams track here of like good playoff? Oh,
I don't know. Trevor McGill's really been struggling here as of late, and that's where I don't know if it just needs the off day to kind of reset in that. But it was so when he came into the game on Sunday. If anybody hasn't seen his entrance in that, but it's like the heart monitor, the beep, the beep, and it's going off, and my wife's like, "What's going on?" So Hudson and I had to explain to her that's the entrance for the closer, and that. So it's like, and then of course, blown save and all that
didn't help. So what was the vibe there when that happened?
The energy just sucked out. I mean, because 3-2, everybody's standing and cheering, and the hit, it just like everybody sat down and just like, a lot of chirping at the at Blue at the umpires because there was a couple close ones and such. But you could just tell the energy just got sucked out.
I'm going to guess that this does not rank among the biggest letdown endings of a game you've attended. Maybe so. I don't know. But what is the biggest letdown of a game ending? Baseball, because I think football would be the Giants Packers NFC Championship game. Yeah. So baseball wise, what's the biggest letdown of an ending? Like
it probably is that. I could say the Game 5 of 2011 because was it Axford or K-Rod? But they tied it up.
Yeah,
and it's like a crap blown save, but then we still won it, so it kind of makes it feel better.
Yeah,
after that, so I'd probably say it was let down from that. And part of it too is because I want my kid to be able to see a Brewers win, and it's the Euchre Day of thing, and all that it factors into it. So it was a little bit of a letdown. Axford, yeah,
which might explain all the now he gets a proper send off thing from this past weekend I was hearing.
Yeah, that would make sense. So, but thanks to Niger Morgan for.
I mean, he did play in 2012, to be fair, but still, and 13, but yeah,
it was. I still remember that. It's like, oh crap. So
yeah,
but no, yeah, I get. But the thing is, for me, I get nervous every time a setup and a closer goes out there in a one-run situation. So I don't know if it's necessarily the player. I think it's more the situation where I still get nervous about.
Yeah.
Because it's so tight, and one little mistake, give me those big leads. Although the last couple of days they've been erased, so I guess it doesn't matter.
Who knows?
But the thing is, you look at the Diamondbacks' offensive lineup, even without some of the moves that they made, they still got some talented offensive players that get on base.
Yeah, and Corbin Carroll's still there among others. Just it's not like they blew up the 2023 team. They're resetting, but they're not rebuilding. Again, to use all of the terms that have been popular of late.
I did think it was, so when they did the starting lineups, and again, this was the first time I've been to AmFam in a hot minute. So when they did the lineups, the biggest three reactions in my personal opinion that I heard when they introduced people, Yelly, Frelick, Pat Murphy.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Trying to think who else could, I could see Isaac Collins maybe,
Contreras over there too. But
pretty steady, but Yelich makes sense.
Frelick reminds me of like a John Kuhn type of folk hero player that everybody just loves. He may never be an all-star. I mean, he is the GOAT, but it's just like everybody loves Sal Frelick.
We've got a ways to go with I was going to make some other comparisons, but there are ones where they had established themselves for a long time, and they're not necessarily the best. They're not going to be in the Hall of Fame. They may end up just making the Brewers What is again? Because they got 2 of them. Is it the Brewers like walk? The one that Axford just got.
Oh yeah.
And so like as a member.
Oh, the walk in the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to which one's which. Freelick is too early to say where that's going to go.
Yeah.
But could he end up being again? I'm going way back with the reference here. Gorman Thomas, massive fan favorite. Now Thomas got to a whole nother level. Here's another term, personified that team. And I'm saying this all in a historical sense.
Freelick kind of personifies this team.
Right.
The fundamentals. He had a hiccup last night, but the speed, the try hard, the he what's wrong if his jersey's not dirty after a game? Sort of vibe.
Is it too far to say T. Plush was that guy for 2011's Brewers?
No, I mean,
was he kind of the equivalent of that?
Yeah.
He personified kind of.
I think that's honestly something that factored into the success. Just that mindset, that alter ego that he had, throwing up the tee.
Yeah.
Everybody did it.
Again, he's not going to be the first person you think of that team, but without
if he
him,
doesn't have that season, he's not at the alumni home run derby from a month ago.
And maybe the Brewers aren't.
He's not throwing out the first pitch at a playoff game, last year or the other year before.
Right.
He's not doing it.
He's become a fan favorite. That's the thing. But also because he was critical to that team. He was kind of also a glue guy to a degree. Glue guys are not necessarily the fan favorites either. But
all right.
Yeah.
Maybe got a ways to go, but could it be the path of a Donald Driver?
That name was bouncing through my head for the last 3 minutes. And I was hesitant to say him along with Gorman Thomas because by the time they really became fan favorites, they'd been around for a long time, and Freelick was really new. But could see where that could go.
Because Donald Driver's never going to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Sorry to tell you the truth there.
No.
Not happening. Not. Did make a couple Pro Bowls. So, I mean, but in the NFL, who hasn't made Pro Bowls? You've got quarterbacks who are available that have made Pro Bowls right now.
You might make a Pro Bowl yet.
Exactly. Not trying to diminish it, but come on.
Let's be real.
That's the thing now, too, is when people say, well, so-and-so has these Pro Bowls. I don't know. Let's cool it a little bit on the Pro Bowl.
All Pro is the one we watch.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Maybe trending that direction.
Yeah.
Possibly.
I could see that. I mean, Donald Driver probably has the...
What helped Donald Driver is he still is, like, active. And,
Yeah.
You still think Green Bay with him.
Would you say of any Packer this century, he has the highest Q rating? For again, to use that term, you could actually do a measurement. I'm sure somewhere Packers have done some focus grouping and actually figured out who does. But would you say Donald Driver is the most popular?
That and the other person I would probably put in this comparison to Jordy.
Yeah, I was thinking he was pretty close to that.
Yeah.
I think in Driver's case, it helps.
Driver's more outgoing.
That helps a lot. Like, hey, he showed up in a driving ad, stuff like that.
Yeah. He took that tour bus. Remember that a few years ago? Because he stopped in Chippewa when I think it was Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
He did this tour across the state sort of thing.
That helps a lot. Whereas Jordy Nelson was like, I'm going to go back and farm. Is that what he's doing right now? He's farming?
No.
Okay. And fine. That's obviously going to have a bit of a difference. On the other hand, Jordy Nelson I think Jordy Nelson's peak was higher.
Yep.
So that...
The question is, who would you rather have in their prime, Jordy or Donald? I would take Jordy.
Ooh, yeah, I probably would too.
And that's not a knock on Donald.
No, because Jordy Nelson at his peak was better. So, I mean, if we're just the peak question, yes. The reliability, long-term durability, really, you'd probably take Driver because Nelson, I mean, I know there was the non-contact injury. What are you going to do on that?
Yeah.
That was non-contact, right?
ACL, Against Pittsburgh.
But I probably would take Driver in that. But for the best at any given moment, yes, I would take Jordy Nelson. But that's two different versions of big fan favorite. Sorry, Jeff Janis fans, we're leaving him out.
I did. That's a good throw there. Yeah.
Jeff Janis and Sam Gatto are like...
Whose career would you rather have? Sam Gatto or Jeff Janis?
I'd probably take Janis because of the Hail Marys. You can tie him to a particular play.
I can still remember the run from Sam Gatto on Sunday Night Football on ESPN against Detroit.
There's that.
I'd have to think about this one a little bit. Sam got that. Like,
All right,
those-
anyone listening, text us. Who's
Who
your?
would you rather have?
And again, it could also be an era thing. I mean, if you were more of a fan in the early aughts, you're probably going to be Gatto. If you were like you had whatever formative years in the later aughts, maybe it's Janice.
Mm-hmm. I just want to look up Sam Congato's numbers. We're talking football careers, not post-football careers too, either, because Sam Con's a doctor, I believe, right now. So I mean, that's...
Yeah. Who had the more successful one? Okay, yes, Sam Congato wins over like everybody.
So
Sorry.
Sam Congato actually lasted in the league for longer than I thought.
How many years?
2, 4, 6, 7 years.
Wow.
No.
Or you
2005 through 2009.
still? That's 5 seasons.
Green Bay, Houston, Miami, and then St. Louis for a couple of years. But yeah, that rookie year in Green Bay, 582 yards on the ground in 8 games played. 5 of them started. He had 6 rushing touchdowns. He's got 11 touchdowns overall in his
See, I
career.
don't think it helps that he played during one of the worst Packers seasons in our lifetimes, whereas Jeff Janis was playing right as the Packers got really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to affect how you're looked.
Jeff Janis, how many regular season touchdowns did he have?
Jeff Janis?
Yes. Because we know he got the 1 in the postseason
right.
for the Cardinals. Regular season.
I'm going to say 3.
1.
Wow.
1. And he played 4 years.
I do. I think also.
Give me Sam Con's career.
The thing is, there was a little bit of an anti-Janis thing, and it's not Janis's fault. But I think because he became such a folk hero so fast, and then was like, yeah, how good is he actually? Really? And it's no fault to him, but it becomes out of his control, and it's what fans say, okay, fine. I mean, it's a fun memory for all of them.
Yep. All right, let's take a quick break, and we'll wrap it up here this morning with some picks, baseball picks. Can the Brewers secure another series win? We'll hit that up coming up after these quick words. Adam Thielen's coming home.
See, now this is where I would do the coming home music if yeah. You know what I mean.
Vikings acquiring Adam Thielen. So there you go. Does anybody else? Does he got to buy the jersey from somebody? Anybody else wearing his old number or such?
Let's see. Vikings roster 2020, not 2022. So what is it right now? Let's take a look at from Vikings.com. Who's got number 19? Right now, number 19 is worn by nobody.
Okay, well, that's easy.
That makes it easy.
Yep. So, all right, there you go, Vikings fans. Adam Thielen back in Minnesota, back in our division, where apparently he hates playing at Lambeau Field. So we got that rivalry back now. So
when's that game again? Just I know
November.
It's a while from now. So
if
he's still healthy by then. So. Yep, already ready for Berman. Oh, what a feeling. It's Adam Thielen. There we go. Yep.
All right, let's.
I can tell you are thrilled that we're going to get more of this.
I honestly don't know if I can go to the website here. Yeah. It's weird because every time I press enter, it says enters at full screen, so I can't but whatever. Let's try this again. Okay, here we go. I got it. I found a way to go about it. All right, let's do some picks. We've got baseball games to get to here. Of course, saving the Brewers one till last because that's what we do here. Let's go Washington taking on the New York Mets or not New York Yankees.
I'll go Yanks.
Yeah, I'm going Yankees. Let's go Atlanta and Miami.
I'll take the Braves.
Oh, Marlins on this one. Tampa Bay and Cleveland.
Tampa Bay.
I'll go Tampa Bay. Padres and the Mariners.
The Mariners.
I'm going to go Padres for this one. Boston, Baltimore.
Boston.
Go Boston. Twinnies, Blue Jays.
I'll take the Blue Jays.
Same. Phillies, Mets, which I didn't realize this till I saw the Mets have been really good at home against the Phillies for the last couple of years. Like really good.
I'll hold for this one as well for the Mets. Side note, I was going to make the Phillies my stock follower until I realized the Adolfo Mensa cornerback stat. Remember I said that that's the team the Brewers don't want to face? It sucks for Zach Wheeler, obviously, having that serious problem with the blood clot and such. From a baseball point of view, that might have opened up a big path for the Brewers. Doesn't mean that there's no problems now because, hello, other teams. But Phillies are not as dangerous, clearly, with no Zach Wheeler.
Right. Where did I leave off? Okay, Arizona. Nope. Kansas City, Chicago.
Former Brewer Aaron Savali.
Yeah.
I'll take the hot Kansas City Royals.
I'll go with the Royals too. We've got Pirates and Cardinals.
Take the Cards.
Take the Cardinals. Angels, Rangers.
Rangers.
I will go Rangers too. Rockies, Astros. Astros. Reds, Dodgers. Shohei.
Possibly shaky Shohei Ohtani on the mound. But I'll go with the Dodgers.
Same here. Cubs, Giants.
More former Brewers involved here. I'll take the Cubbies. Sorry.
I'm going Giants.
Okay.
Colin Ray gets shelled today. Detroit and the Athletics.
I'll take the Tigers. By the way, you excited to go play at the Las Vegas minor league ballpark in June next summer?
Yeah, I'm going to book my tickets because that's like going to the Field of Dreams game. I'm definitely got to check that out. So.
Only you will melt. You will die there because it's going to be that hot in June.
Right. And then finally, Brewers, Diamondbacks, Priesters on the mound. Nelson's going for the Diamondbacks.
So Priester has the record for most consecutive wins by a team after that guy started with the team. Am I getting that stat right?
I know what you're getting at.
It's something like that. So it's not necessarily that he won the games, but like the team has won 15 in a row since he joined the team. Those sorts of stats kind of run out after a while. So I'm only doing law of averages here because ordinarily I would take the Brewers. I'm going to take the Diamondbacks just because that feels like one of those stats that's going to run out. I hope I'm wrong. I fear I'm right.
I don't like the trend of how these last two games have gone. So, yeah, I'm going to go Diamondbacks tonight.
It also kind of feels like the Brewers are due for one of those games. It's like, oh, it's like 7-0 in the third.
I feel like they're playing with Lady Luck in these last couple ones.
And not that that's a sign of anything to come, but like
No.
what they're every team has those, and it feels like the Brewers are due. Maybe it won't happen, and that'd be cool.
Yep.
Okay, one more pick and predict. Over under on Adam Thielen touchdown catches. Understanding, of course, this is in large part because of injuries and Jordan Addison, who's going to be coming back after 3 games. I'm going to put the over under of touchdown passes this season 3.5. I'm going low because it's older. I know he's had some potential, but
also you got TJ over there too.
Yeah. Also have JJ McCarthy. Massive question mark. So I'm going to put it at 3.5 touchdowns.
That's a good line. I think it's a good line. I'll go over, but like 4.
I was tempted to make the line higher, actually.
If it's 4.5, then I'd take under.
I'm going to go over because I think he's probably going to specialize in the end zone, honestly. They're probably going to use him as a bit of a security blanket of all right, McCarthy, where you just throw it in Thielen's direction, he'll find a way to get it.
Like a 3rd and 5, too.
Kind of, yeah. I think that's where it comes. It's not going to be a lot, but I think he'll do just enough that he'll bail out the Vikings in a few situations.
No, I would agree with that. So, all right, just a minute left. Again, final reminder, Brewers, Diamondbacks tonight, 6:40. Coverage will begin 35 minutes prior, 6:05. Tune in to 105.1 FM and 790 AM to listen to the game, and maybe Brewers will clinch another series with a win tonight. They can do that and move up, hopefully, a little bit more in the standings. Still, no other team though in Major League Baseball with at least 80 wins. It's just the Brewers. Brewers alone at the top. So, got that going for us.
Yes,
which is
true.
Nice.
That's
so,
true.
I think, are they still on pace for like 101 wins?
Yep. As of right now, it is 101.
101, which would be 5 games ahead of their franchise record of 96 wins. Think they can hit 100 really quick?
No, 98 or 99.
But they set the record.
They set the record.
All right, there you go. DP Dannets are up next. Have yourself a very good rest of your Wednesday. We'll be back, same place, same time, tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Chat with you then.